Hello everyone. So this is Modern History Marathon 2011 to 2025. So this particular marathon will be much bigger than the ancient and the medieval because we have to solve a lot of questions and UPSC has asked a lot of questions. Compared to ancient and medieval, they have asked more questions from modern history marathon. So without wasting any time, let's start the discussion and let me check everything is fine. Yes, everything is awesome. So let's start the discussion, guys. 2011 to 2025. Wow. So my name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and this is my Telegram channel. So you can join this Telegram channel. I share Hindu analysis PDF Monday to Saturday at 9 p.m. On this channel, I do the analysis at 9 a.m. 9 p.m. I share it. So you can have a look at it. Okay, cool. So let's start modern history, which will also include some portion of art and culture with reference to Ryotwadi settlement. If you see this, land revenue settlement, Ryotwadi permanent settlement and Meherwadi. Permanent settlement, PS, is also known as Zamindari system, Lord Cornwallis, right? And then you have Meherwadi system where these people, Britishers, they're dealing with villagers which are known as a village, which is known as Mahal. Ryotwadi system, Ryot means peasants. They're directly dealing with peasants. Why? Because in southern India, where Ryotwadi system was mainly introduced, the concept of zamindari is comparatively absent. So that's why Thomas Munro and Alexander Reed, they came up with Ryotwadi settlement mostly in southern India. So rent was paid directly by peasant to government. Very good. Government gave pattas to the Ryots. That is also correct. And the land was surveyed and assessed before being taxed. Obviously, how will you tax it without surveying and assessing? So the answer is C1, 2 and 3. Guys, let's be serious. No jokes. Annie Besant was. Who was Annie Besant? Was she a good girl or she a bad girl, guys? Annie Besant, ma'am, is the awesome, guys. Some, this is such a long video. Oh, God. Maybe I'm panicking a bit. So, Annie Besant, ma'am, many people they get confused with the fact that she started Theosophical Society. No, Theosophical Society was started by Blavatsky and Alcott. Remember these facts; they are really important. How important? Really, Blavatsky and Alcott. She popularized this Theosophical Society. 1875 it was established in America, and then 1882 they established their center in India at Adyar near Madras. So remember these facts are also important. UPSC has asked PYQs on them. So second is wrong. If you eliminate, so now you have to check the third one. She was once the president of Indian National Congress, first woman president of Indian National Congress, first Indian woman president, Sarojini Naidu. So remember these facts and become a really good boy. Important INC sessions. 1950, again you can see all these things. 1916 Lucknow Pact, where Congress, Muslim League, they came together. They gave each other jadoo ki jhappi le le tu abhi milungi fir na dobara. That means give me a jadoo ki jhappi. Ambika Charan Majumdar was the president. Remember it. Surat split happened in 1907, where the president was Raj Bihari Ghosh, not Raj Bihari Bosh. So these facts are really important. Lucknow Pact, signed between Congress and Muslim League, you can see in 1970, next year. Annie Besant, ma'am, first woman president, Calcutta session. Remember these facts, they are really important. Questions on Indian struggle under Gandhiji, Kheda. So remember, Gandhiji was in Africa, South Africa. Then he came to India, Pravasi Bharati Divas, 9th January. And then he participated in something which we know as Cake, Champaran, Ahmedabad, Kheda. Kheda Satyagraha, peasants. Some drought happened and administration, they were not suspending land revenue because they were bad boys. There is no such proposal of permanent settlement and all. Permanent settlement was introduced by Lord Cornwallis. Remember these names, they are important. Like Alexander Reed, Thomas Munro, we associate with Ryotwadi. Permanent settlement, Lord Cornwallis, 1793. So second statement is wrong. And the answer is A1 only. Wow, guys, please be serious. I love you now. Rowlatt Act aimed at what? So Rowlatt Act, preventive detention law. Preventive detention law, like currently our Sonam Wangchuk sir was put under NSA, National Security Act, because he's a criminal, like biggest criminal in our country. Many people say that much, like, I don't know. There are some criminals who are in parliament and all, and Sonam Wangchuk sir is supposed to be a criminal. Oh my God, Amrit Kal, guys. So Rowlatt Act, preventive detention law, imprisonment without trial and summary procedures for trial. That is the basic thing, and they arrested Satyapal, Saifuddin Kachulu under these Rowlatt Act, which led to people protesting in Jalandhar, Amritsar and all. And then Jallianwala Bagh happened. And then Rabindranath Tagore, sir, he renounced his knighthood. So imprisonment without trial and summary procedures for trial. Remember these facts. They are really important, guys. With reference to Indian freedom struggle, Usha Mehta is well known for Quit India movement, 8th August 1942. This date also UPSC is asked. They proclaimed it 9th August. Most of the leaders were arrested. So then it became a leaderless movement, but leaders emerged out of nowhere. Usha Mehta, so many people. And there were parallel governments which were formed in Balia, Satara. So that happens. Like Sachin Tendulkar went. People were like, oh my God, who will India, like the God has gone. Then Kohli came. Then Rohit Sharma came. Now you have so many other players, right? So yeah, somebody always fills the vacuum. That's what also happened during the Quit India movement. Usha Mehta, Aruna Asif Ali, so many people. So they were running the secret Congress radio in the wake of Quit India movement. Guys. Next question, Chepandi's question. With reference to the period of Indian freedom struggle, which of the following were recommended by Nehru Report? What was recommended by Nehru Report? Nehru Report is a good report. Oh my God, that's so funny, man. So yeah, some people, there was a movie in our time. It's a good question, but your question actually hurt me, whatever. So with reference to period of Indian freedom struggle, which of the following, just give me a second, was recommended by Nehru Report? Here, when we are talking about Nehru Report, it's not Jawaharlal Nehru, it's Motilal Nehru, the father of Jawaharlal Nehru, right? So, and Nehru Report was talking about dominion status, not complete independence. And after this whole Nehru Report was not accepted, then they changed their status, like Congress leaders, and maybe the son Jawaharlal Nehru took offense to this fact that Britishers did not accept Nehru report in dominion status. So then Lahore session came, 1929. Lag di Lahore diya, jis hisab se chal diya. So Nehru sir sang that song, and then Lahore session was proclaimed. They unfurled Indian flag on Ravi River, on which Lahore is located, and yeah, 1929. So again, let's focus, guys. So complete independence, wrong. Dominion status. So first you will eliminate and you'll be left with, even if you don't know anything about second and third, you'll be able to get the answer. B, joint electorates for reservation of seats for minorities, provision of fundamental right for the people of India in the constitution. This fundamental right provision will again come in Karachi session. Karachi. So yeah, Lahore session 1929, 26 January 1930, they unfurled national flag at Lahore, means Ravi River. So B is the answer, guys. Important. Do remember these facts and figures. The Congress ministry resigned in 7 provinces in 1939. Why they resigned? What was the reason behind their resignation? Was it Chepandis, Chepu, Telsu, Leidu, or Kadu? Again, these are jibber jabber, which I keep on saying, guys, because this is a long lecture. So we have to, okay. Why they resigned? Because in 1939, World War II broke out. Hitler invaded Poland, and then Britishers, they attacked France, they attacked Germany, and then they made India a part of World War II without asking for our permission. So it's not any of these regions. The reason is that, as Huma Qureshi would say later on, she would say the grievances of Congress leaders with this statement of hers, that you should have taken our permission. That's what Huma Qureshi ma'am is saying. And since Britishers did not take our permission, that's why Congress ministry resigned. Whoa! Well, guys, please be serious, okay? Why no permission before asking for our participation? September 1939, Viceroy unilaterally declared India was at war, and then in October, we resigned. We did not like it. Don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me, Sonia, without my permission. Don't make us a part of the war without our permission. Oh my God. Mahatma Gandhi undertook fast unto death in 1932, mainly because he was like, आज कुछ तूफानी करते हैं, let's pass some laws. No, mainly because Ramsay MacDonald announced a communal award, separate electorates for Harijans, untouchable people, and he was like, oh my God, he's trying to create division even within Hinduism. Separate electorates. What is the basic meaning here? Like, you have separate electorates, you have joint electorate. Joint electorate also like currently exists in our country. Joint electorate means what? Some seats are reserved for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, but everybody can vote. Separate electorates, some seats are reserved for, let's say, Muslims or Sikh or scheduled caste. Only that community will vote. So we did not want that. Gandhiji did not want that. And then he went, undertook fast and to death in 1932 in Yarwada jail. And Ambedkar sir was like, Gandhiji is blackmailing, this is so wrong. And then Pune Pact happened, where Ambedkar sir agreed on joint electorates with reservations for Harijans. But he kept on saying that Pune Pact मेरी जिंदगी की सबसे बड़ी गलती. That means Pune Pact is my biggest mistake, is one of the biggest mistakes of my life. And Chepandi's. So answer is C. I love these words, guys. So If you people know me, you know me. If you don't know me, I love, like, my favorite word is chepandi, and my favorite phrase is చెప్పు తెలుసు లేదు కాదు. There is no meaning of this, but I love to say these words. I learned these 5 words when I was in Hyderabad. నేను నిన్ను ప్రేమిస్తున్నాను. And then some Allu Arjun song. I love you na ఊపిరి పోయినా, I love you na ప్రాణం పోయినా, నువ్వుంటే నిజమేగా సత్యం, Mr. Perfect, perfect, he is Mr. Perfect. In Desi Guttuku, Lahore session of Indian National Congress. I have already told you why is Lahore session famous? Because of Guru Randhava. Lagni Lahore diya. No, it's not because of Guru Randhava. So it is famous because Congress passed a resolution demanding complete independence. Wow! So now you're left with A and C. Do option elimination. Rift between extremists and moderates, it was resolved in 1916. Ambika Charan Majumdar, Lucknow Pact. Aha. So second is wrong. We don't even need to check second. Third, resolution was passed rejecting two-nation theory in that session. Two-nation theory came in March 1940. Pakistan resolution and all. So it is 1929. How can they go in future and they see that this will happen and then they will pass it 11 years earlier? This is not dark we are talking about. This is not a Netflix series, right? Going into past and the present and future. So third is wrong, and the answer is A. One only verb. Guys, please be serious. Look, the Quit India movement was launched in response to, was it in response to Chepandis or Chepu or Tilsu or Ledu or Kadu? It was launched in response to Cripps proposal. So Cripps proposal came in April 1942. Sir Stafford Cripps. See, one of the good boys he was. He later on again came in the cabinet mission, Sir Stafford Cripps. So he was like, we will give you dominion status, and he talked about weak federation. If provinces wanted to secede from the union, they can do that. They can have their own province and they can have their own union and all. We did not like it. We did not like dominion status. We were like, it's a post-dated check. F off. Again, we did not say that. Sure. So then Sir Stafford Cripps was a good guy, but he was not allowed to work by Winston Churchill and all. They wanted this thing to fail, and then he later on came again in cabinet mission. What is the mnemonic to remember the members of cabinet mission? Pass. In our time when you people were not born, there was an actor. His name was Saif Ali Khan. Aha, aha. He sang a song. Pass wo aane lage zara zara. That means you are coming closer to me slowly, slowly. So pass. There is also a mouth freshener. Pass. So pass. Pethick Lawrence, A.V. Alexander, Sir Stafford Cripps. Remember these names. B is the answer, guys. Here. So Quit India movement, August 1942. Oh my God. I do these things, guys. Because things should be light-hearted. Anyway, you're preparing for one of the toughest exam in the world. So my thing is to make these things easier for you, fun for you. Study should be fun. UPSC loves 1929 session, just like UPSC loves Vijayanagar Empire, Mongols. UPSC loves Lagdi Lahore Diya. Guys, don't do Lagdi Lahore Diya. Jis hisab se chal diya. So again, you hope you know the answer of this particular question. I love you. So 1929 session, why it is important? Attainment of Purna Swaraj, complete independence. Whoa. Guys. Redcliffe Committee was appointed to do what? To delimit the boundary between India and Pakistan. Redcliffe. Then you have Durand Line between Pakistan and Afghanistan. These things are really important. Pakistan and Afghanistan, they are anyway fighting. So you have to keep these points in mind and become a very good boy or very good girl. Whoa, guys. Don't do like kid. You people are grown-ups now. Act like grown-ups. Who of the following organized a march on the Tanjore coast to break the salt law in April 1930? So C. Rajagopalachari, sir. So again, March 12, civil disobedience movement started with Dandi March. March 12 to April 6, Dandi March. So Dandi March is march towards Dandi, which started from Sabarmati. So Sabarmati to Dandi, pardon my doctor-like handwriting. And then they were breaking salt law because salt, see, Gandhiji wanted to think about an objective, a thing which does not hurt Hindus or Muslims, anyone's sentiments, and salt was one of that commodity. Breaking salt law. Salt is a necessity, right? We need to eat salt. You need to eat iodine, otherwise you will have goiter like this here. So yeah, why government was taxing salt? Nobody was understanding that. It's a basic necessity, and it was a sizable chunk of British revenue. So Gandhiji was like, okay, let's hurt them where it hurts them the most. Oh my God. So the answer is B here. C. Rajagopalachari. So on the coastal regions, or in the coastal regions, or around the coastal regions, people started breaking salt laws. C. Rajagopalachari sir in Tamil Nadu, K. Kelappan sir in Kerala, different leaders, and let's say states which are inland, like where there is no sea, they started doing campaign against Chowkidari tax, anti-Chowkidari and all. Really good. C. Rajagopalachari sir. K. Kelappan led a march to Malabar region. C. Rajagopalachari sir. Tamil Nadu. K. Kelappan. Kerala. This is K. Kelappan sir. See, his ear has so many hairs. My, great grandfathers and all, they also have these kind of ears. I love them. And this is natural, guys. Like Anil Kapoor, he has a lot of hair on his. Guys, what are you people talking about? Let's focus. But this way, you will be able to remember these leaders in a much better manner. You people are mischievous boys and girls. Talk about stupid things. Civil disobedience movement, refusal to obey laws, blah, blah, blah. You can read all these things in your free time. Whoa. 2015 question. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's try to solve this. You can have a look at all these questions. You can see how many questions we are discussing and what you can do. You can also say at the end how many questions you got correct out of the total questions we'll be solving. So first woman president of India. Now, these questions are actually important. Be very attentive when you're solving these questions. First woman president, Sarojini Naidu. First Muslim president, but the first woman president was not Sarojini Naidu. First woman president was Annie Besant. We have talked about her. First Indian woman president was Sarojini Naidu. First Muslim president, Badun Tayabji. So Congress established in 1885, and the first 5 years, you read when you people will grow up and you will prepare for UPSC. So you will read in GS1 secularism. In secularism, like we treat all religion equally, at least on paper right now. So 1885, Ramesh Chandra Banerjee, he was your president, Congress president. 1886, Dadabhai Naoroji, if I'm not wrong. Then 1887, Badruddin Tayabji. And 1888, George Yule. These first four important. Why? Because Ramesh Chandra Banerjee, Hindu, Dadabhai Naoroji, Parsi, Badruddin Tayabji, Muslim, and George Yule, Christian. Four people, four different religions. Shows India's secularism. You can use it in your mains answer also. So the answer is B2 only. Really good. What next? Which of the, like with reference to cabinet mission, I have told you, cabinet mission, that somebody is coming closer to me slowly. So Patrick Lawrence, A.V. Alexander, Sir Stafford Cripps recommended the federal government enlarge the power of Indian courts, provided for more Indians in the ICS. See, when it came cabinet mission, they had bigger objectives. Congress, Muslim League fighting here, there, everywhere. So they were like, yes, we want a federal government. And it came around 1945-46, and 1940 Pakistan resolution was passed. And, things were looking bleak. So they rejected the demand for Pakistan. But they talked about grouping of provinces, Group A, Group B, Group C. So where in two groups, there were Muslim majority provinces in East and West. So tacitly, they rejected the demand of Pakistan. Do remember. But they talked about grouping of provinces. They talked about a weak federal government, weak central government. Residuary power given to states. So yes, first, these second and third, they were not stated by them. So A1 only. These three guys, you see, this is Sir Stafford Cripps Mission 1, and these three people. So A.V. Alexander, Patrick Lawrence, and Sir Stafford Cripps. This is Jinnah. Up until 1920, he was a part of Congress. In 1920, he resigned and left Congress. During 1916 Lucknow Pact, he was called as Ambassador of Hindu-Muslim Unity. So remember these facts. Clement Attlee announced CUC 1946, February 1946, March, they came to India. And three members passed, remember it. Really important. Jinnah, second from left, with members like Alexander, A.V. Alexander, he is Alexander. And Lord Patrick Lawrence, he is Lord. And he is Sir Stafford Cripps. So they were appeasing both Hindus and Muslims, Hindus and Muslims, I'm saying Congress and Muslim League. Section A, Section B, Section 3 grouping of provinces they talked about. And they talked about three different types of constitution, so to say. So these provinces, like whatever provinces you have, let's say Baluchistan, they can make their own constitution for their own province. Then in whatever group they lie, they can make their constitution for the group, and then they can all come together and make a constitution for the whole country. So three kind of constitution. It was a confusing mission. Like, see, this is what we are discussing here. Three-tier executive and legislature, common center, which would control defense, communication, external affairs, most of the power given to states. So a weak center, and we did not like it. Muslim League felt that grouping is a tacit acceptance of Pakistan, but they rejected the whole concept of Pakistan. And then later on, everybody was confused what cabinet mission is exactly saying. And then direct action happened in 1946. Okay, let's focus. Which of the following movements has contributed to a split in Indian National Congress, resulting in emergence of moderates and extremists? So that happened because of Swadeshi movement, 1905. Extremists were lacking faith in moderates, political mendicancy. They were like, these moderate leaders, they are always begging for things, prayer, petition, and protest, triple P. We have to move beyond that. So all these things happened during Swadeshi movement. Surat split happened. And remember, who was the Congress president? Raj Bihari Ghosh. It's not Bose. There's another person whose name is Raj Bihari Ghosh, means Raj Bihari Bose. And this Raj Bihari Bose, he was associated with, I think, Jugantar, Anusilan Samiti. He was associated with Indian National Army, INA, before Subhash Chandra Bose took over. So Ghosh and Bose, they are two different personalities. Don't get confused with them. Oh my god. Chepandis. Cheputalsu Ledu. Kadu. Guys, why you people do like this? Are you Chepandis? Or Chepo? Or Telsu? Oh, or Ledu or Kadu? Okay. Swadeshi and boycott were adopted as method of struggle uh, for the first time during the agitation, during partition of Bengal. There they also established National Council of Education, Bengal University, which and some portion became Jadavpur University. So nationalization of education, so many things they talked about after the partition of Bengal. They were like, we will not buy foreign goods, foreign clothes. So all these things were happening against the partition of Bengal. Swadeshi and boycott. A is the answer. These are straightforward questions. If you're making mistake here, then it is Chepandis. That means it's a wrong thing. Whoa. Let's focus, guys. Montag Chelmsford proposals were related to. See, there are three acts which are actually very important: 1909, 1919, 1935. You have to do a comparative analysis of it. This is Morley-Minto reforms, this is Montag Chelmsford reforms, and then Government of India 1935 Act. 50% of our constitution is borrowed from this. So separate electorates for Muslims, you see it in 1909 Act. This separate electorates was extended for other communities, Anglo-Indians, etc. in 1919 Act, and then it was extended for women, etc. in 1935 Act. And there are other things also. 1909 Act, 1919, they introduced this bicameralism, which you see. This Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, which you see, its genesis is in 1919. And this Legislative Assembly, Legislative Council, which you see, its genesis is in 1935 Act. So you have to remember these facts and figures. They're actually important, Cool. So Montag Chelmsford proposes diarchy in provinces. 1919 Act, it introduced diarchy in provinces, like, reserve subject and transferred subject, diarchy in provinces. The important subjects were with governor and his executive council, and the not so important subjects, not so money fetching subjects, were with legislative council, who were responsible to people, reserved and transferred subjects. So, and then in 1935, this diarchy was abolished in provinces, diarchy was introduced as center. Remember these facts. Montag Chelmsford proposals related to not social, not educational, not reforms, constitutional reforms. D. Always, whenever you are studying them, study these, three: 1919, 1909, 1919, 1935 at the same time. Cool. So you can see what was the main reason for the split of Indian National Congress. So you can see Surat split, Swadeshi movement, boycott movement, partition of Bengal. These are very common themes. So many questions have been asked on them. So why split happened? Extremist lack of faith in the capacity of moderates to negotiate with the British government. So you can see all these things. The plan for such step, or again, Cripps mission is also important. They have asked a lot of questions on Cripps mission. So plan of Sir Stafford Cripps envisaged that after Second World War, India should be granted. No, they were saying India should be given dominion status, and we have given away dominion status after Nehru report of 1928. From Lahore session 1929 only, we were asking for complete independence, and that's why we were saying that this is a post-dated check. We have already given away 14 years before this whole dominion status thing. Why in 1942, March 1942, you are talking about dominion status? And that's why we were angry. So D is the answer. UPSC has asked a lot of questions on Cripps mission, guys. So revise it properly. Cripps mission, dominion status. Then they talked about members will be elected from provinces nominated by princely states. We have issue with that also. Why you are nominating people from princely states? Then what else was the issue? Again, like why weak center, why provinces could secede. That was also a provision given by Cripps mission, that provinces who did not want to become a part of the union, they can secede. So you can see any province not willing to join the union could have a separate constitution and form a separate union. Defense, again, you can see all the points. So we had issues with these things. In the context of Indian history, the principle of diarchy, I've already told you what is diarchy. So yeah, what is the meaning of diarchy here? Chepandis, Chepandis, Chepandis. In the context of Indian history, the principle of diarchy means division of subjects delegated to provinces into two categories, reserved and transferred. Remember these words, they are important. Provincial subjects transferred and reserved, administered by governor, executive council, not responsible to legislative council. And here, the more important subjects were there, like police, revenue, land revenue, law and order. All these things were here. On the other hand, in a transferred subject, they will give local government without any powers. So all these things were administered by governor, responsible to legislative council. So remember these things, they are really important. With reference to Indian freedom struggle, consider the following events: mutiny, Quit India movement, second round table conference, and just give me a second, guys. You have to arrange them in correct chronological sequence. Mutiny in Royal Indian Navy 1946, Quit India movement launched 1942, second roundtable conference 1931. So if you see these are so far apart, these years, you can easily solve this question without having any issue. So 3, 2, 1. See, second roundtable conference, these RTCs, why they were having second, first, second, third. In all these three RTCs, Ambedkar sir was there in all three. And there was another lawyer who was there. If you know it, you can post it in the comment section. And he talked about this, separate electorates for Harijan untouchables in the first roundtable conference and all. So this is happening because 1919 you have Montag Chelmsford reforms. And you have to evaluate it. 1927 Simon Commission came. People were not very happy with it because 7-member commission, none of them were Indians. So this whole roundtable conference is happening. What is the way forward? If people are not happy with 1919 Montag Chelmsford reforms and all those stuff, so something has to be done, right? So what should be the way forward? And that these whole talks related to Simon Commission, White Paper, Second Roundtable Conference led to 1935 Act, Government of India Act 1935. So remember these facts. Mutiny in Royal Indian Navy happened because people were not happy. Indian soldiers were not happy with how they were treated there. So C321. Royal Indian Navy, HMIS Talwar. Objective of Butler Committee of 1927. Now, these committees are actually important, guys. Butler Committee, then there was a Hunter Committee. There was two Hunter Commission actually. In our time, there was a movie. You people were not born at that time. The movie was what was the name of the movie? Yes, Hunter, like Gangs of Wasipur. I am a hunter. Sometimes I just know the first line, like Mr. Perfect, perfect. He is Mr. Perfect. Arya 2, there is a movie. Indesi Kutuku Durukudura, no defect. Ante Amlapuram, ante Ahapuram, E ante Ikshapuram, Ida Kuti Lagataru, Andhra Janam. So Hunter Commission, there was one Hunter Commission for education, 1880s. There was another Hunter Commission for Jallianwala Bagh massacre. After that, it was established. Butler Committee improved relationship between Government of India and princely state. Indian states here means princely states. To improve relationship between states, provinces directly under British rule and the princely states, this Butler Committee was formed. They were like, princely states were a little bit wary that God knows what will happen to us, slowly and gradually. These national movement they will spread in our region. So they were a little bit skeptical about the provinces, Indian provinces ruled by Britishers, the princely states. To allay their fears, this Butler Committee came into picture. Remember Butler Committee, Butler and Hunter. And then there's a homework for you. If you know Hartog Committee, what is Hartog Committee associated with? If you know it, you can post it in the comment section and become a really good boy or really good girl. Guys, please be serious, okay? So report of Butler Committee, Indian states and British India. Viceroy should represent Crown in all dealings with the state. You can see committee sympathized with the fear of native princes that their state might pass without their consent under a new government in British India responsible to an Indian legislature. And they were like, no, even if you people leave, don't do such thing that we become a part of some other union, which actually happened later on. La, la, lun, dun, jum, 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 jum. Guys, please be serious. Don't do jim, 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 jum. Who among the following is or was associated? I have told you when I think this was the first question which we have discussed about Riotwadi and Mehalwadi and all. There I have told you. So Riotwadi settlement, Cornwallis is associated with permanent settlement. Radhe 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 Barsane Wale Radhe. Alexander Reed, Thomas Munro associated with Riotwadi settlement, second and third. Vache Pandis. And they introduced it in southern India. Why? Because the concept of jamindari is comparatively absent here. British territories, you can see all these things. Capital Alexander Reed, he first tried it in some area, and Thomas Munro extended it. Lord Cornwallis associated with zamindari or permanent settlement. The Trade Disputes Act. Now, these are very factual questions. If you have solved it, you will be able to solve it in exam. Otherwise, it's become tough. Like Araghatta. I was doing medieval history marathon. So 2011 to 2025. Araghatta has been asked in 2026 and then in 2025. It's a irrigation instrument, means wheel and all. If you have done it, there are so many different kind of these things. Similarly, there are so many ads. How can you remember all of them? Are you Chepandis Cheputezu Ledu Kadu? That means so Trade Dispute Act provided a system of tribunals and ban on strikes. So there are so many things, railways, etc. If people in those sensitive area they go on strike, what will happen then? So this Trade Dispute Act came to put a ban on these kind of strikes. If you want to strike, give us a 1 month notice. Yeah, I'm knowing 1 month before. It's like in your jobs. No, no, no. If you want to leave, you have to give 20 prior thing, or you have to take permission 30 days. 30 days before I was knowing I need a leave, man. Leave. So yeah, system of tribunals and ban on strike, guys. Cheap and D's. But you can also understand why this act came. Socialism, socialistic waves, people protesting, this and that. That was the vogue in 1920s. Hindustan Republican Association became Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. All these things were happening. Britishers were little worried, and that's why they came up with this Trade Dispute Act. Made compulsory the appointment of court. You can see all these things. Made illegal the strikes in public utility services, post railways. Even right now, think if some people in railways they go on strike, what will happen then? How will railway run, right? So yeah, you can understand why 1 month notice was asked from them. This is actually funny. He wrote biographies of Mazzini, Garibaldi. When you people will become, grow up, become 18 plus, you will, and if you prepare for UPSC, you will read something called as world history. It's an awesome thing, guys. In world history, you will read about unification of Italy. Whoa. In unification of Italy, you will read about Mazzini and Garibaldi. So somebody Indian wrote biographies on Mazzini and Garibaldi, Shivaji Sri Krishna, stayed in America. Who was that? In our time, there was a song, Bolo Bolo Kaun Hai Wo, Meri Jaan Hai Wo. That means tell me who is he or who is she? He is or she is my love. I love to translate these songs for you. So the answer here is Lala Lajpat Rai. Lal Bal Pal. Lala Lajpat Rai. Simon Commission came. He was protesting. Lathi charge happened. He died. Sad story. He was also later became a part of Swaraj Party. Swaraj Party. He is one of the, trio of that Lal Bal Pal. Lala Lajpat Rai. Pal Gangadhar Tilak. Bipin Chandra Pal. Lala Lajpat Rai, Swaraj Party, became a member of Swaraj Party. Swaraj Party was formed by C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. Chitranjan Das. Lala Lajpat. He later on became a little communal also. But look what I'm talking right now in the Amrit Kal era. Lala Lajpat Roy, sir. So, Unhappy India, Young India. Remember these books, important. Mazzini, Garibaldi, he wrote about it. And he wanted his countrymen to become a blah, blah, blah. You can read all these things in your free time. But remember this. This is actually a factual question. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. He joined Swaraj Party, became deputy leader in Central Legislative Assembly, later resigned, and soon died after that, protesting. Sad, sad, sad. Regarding Wood's dispatch, education. There was a Macaulay Minutes of 1830s, and then there was a Wood's dispatch of 1854. Macaulay Minute, when you people again will grow up, 18 plus, you will read about Orientalist versus Anglicist controversy. Just give me a second, guys. Ha 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 ha. Radhi 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 Barsani Wali Radhi, guys. So what we are discussing here, in this song I hear a lot here, guys. Radhi 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 Barsani Wali Radhi. So we are talking about Wood's dispatch. Macaulay Minutes 1835. They are the people, there are two groups, right? Orientalist and Anglicist. Anglicist group, they are like English education is the way to go. We have to spread English education here, there, everywhere. Orientalist, Orient, Far East. They're like na 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 re. That means no 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 re no re no re. So Orientalist people, they're like Orientalists were like, we have to understand the culture where we are, right? Where we are going and whatever we are capturing. So let's try to understand Indian culture, Sanskrit, Arabic, whatever language. So these were Orientalist. Even Warren Hastings was an Orientalist. You may feel like Raja Ram Mohan Roy is an Orientalist. No, he was an Anglicist. Macaulay was an Anglicist. So he came up with this Macaulay Minute of 1835 where he was like, English will be here, there, everywhere. Then came the Wood's Dispatch of 1854. They were like, dude, at the lower level, people, I'm a Tamilian, I'm a Telugu, I'm a Kannada speaker. So how can I learn stuff at the lower level in English? There has to be a bridge somewhere, right? So at the lower level, vernacular language, and at the higher level, English. So English as a medium instruction at all level was not recommended. It was discontinued by Wood's Dispatch. Vernacular languages at the lower level. So third is wrong. Eliminate third. You will get the answer A, 1 and 2 only. Grant system, establishment of universities was recommended. But if you just know that vernacular, and that's why it is known as Magna Carta of Indian education. You see similar kind of system even now. National Education Policy 2020, replacing NEP of 1986, K. Kasturi Rangan Committee. They also stress a lot on vernacular languages, but at the same time there are other people who are like, Hindi is the national language, Hindi is the national language. There's no national language, guys. Hindi is an official language. They can even ask you what was known as the Magna Carta of English education. What's dispatch? Remember these facts? And earlier Macaulay Minute was downward filtration. So people who are English educated, they will educate other people, and that's how people will masse will get education and all. Cool, cool. Not exactly cool. Universities at Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras, different presidencies via this Woods Dispatch. And you can read all these things in your free time and become a really good boy or really good girl. In the federation established by Government of India Act 9, residuary powers were given to the. So Government of India Act 1935, 50% of Indian constitution taken from there. Why we have copied it? No, not copied, inspired. Use proper words, guys. Why? Because using this 1935 act, provincial election, central election happened in 37, 38, 44, 45, 46. So we were well acquainted with the provision of 1935. And when independence happened, in 47, our illiteracy was very high. And that's why we continued with major provision of 1935. Residuary powers given to Governor General. What is residuary power? Residuary list. You have central list, you have state list, you have concurrent list. Central list governed by center, state list governed by state, concurrent list both can make laws. Residuary power, which is not mentioned anywhere. So will they know about AI? Will the people in 1930s know about AI? These are the things which will evolve, right? So those things were kept in residuary power. It was given to governor. Currently it is with center. So that's why we have a strong center, and we are a federal state with strong unitary bias like Canada. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Guys, remember these facts and become a really good boy or really good girl. Whoa, whoa. Guys, please don't do like this. You people are grown-ups now. So for Government of India Act 1935, I have told you, whenever you are doing revision, 1909, 1919, 1935, parallel study, which we have just discussed. They are really important. Now, there were some people who were like, sir, UPSC is wrong here in this question. Why? Because, not exactly the same tone, but they were like Queen's Proclamation of 1858. After that, there is no Governor General, sir. They're known as Viceroy. First Viceroy was Lord Canning. Lord Canning was also the Governor General when 1857 revolt happened. Remember these facts, PYQs, guys. So yes, I can understand, but they were used synonymously, this Viceroy and Governor General. Although you should use always the Viceroy thing, because you people are good boys and girls. Wow. I love you. Economically, one of the results of British rule in India in 19th century was commercialization of Indian agriculture, not increase, decrease, not growth, rapid increase, not rapid decline. People started, ruralization happened. People started going to urban, like rural areas when there were not enough jobs in urban areas. Commercialization, see, understand one thing. When you people will again grow up and read history in detail, you will realize commercialization can be of different types. There can be a natural commercialization, which is currently happening in our country. There can be a forced commercialization, which was happening in British India of 19th century. Forced means we don't have enough food crops, but still we are transitioning to cash crops. That is forced commercialization. Currently we have natural commercialization. We have enough food crops, we are transitioning to cash crops, accordingly. So there is a difference, but yes, that happened. Commercialization of Indian agriculture. People started growing tea, coffee. And there was also one thing which happened, which was a positive impact of British economic rule. Although most of them are negative impacts. One is, the positive impact is regional specialization of crops. tea growing in a particular region and all. This is one positive impact. So this is a very common question asked by UPSC almost 79,688 billion times. Economic impact, tell me the impact, economic impact of British rule. And most of the people are like, negative impact, negative impact, negative. Yes, we all know the negative impact, right? But talk something which not like, you have to write both dimensions in exam. So what are the positive impact? Regional specialization of crops, integration of Indian economy with the rest of the world economy, then development of railway, etc. So you have to talk about the positive impact as well. Commercialization, you can read all these things and become a really good boy or girl. Which one of the following is a very significant aspect of Champaran Satyagraha? Yes, they do ask a lot of questions from Champaran Satyagraha also, because Gandhiji's first movement and first interaction and all participation. All India party is localized nature, guys. Joining of peasant unrest to India's national movement, Champaran Satyagraha, indigo cultivation. There is an indigo rebellion also, on which Deen Bandhu Mitra has written Neel Darpan, so revise that also, 1858 and all, 58, 59. This is indigo rebellion, which was based on, like, there was a concept also, Tin Kathiya system. What is Tin Kathiya system? 3 by 20th portion of the land you have to grow indigo. People were frustrated because of it, and also the demand for indigo decreased during that period. Synthetic dyes were there, so that all these things led to decline of indigo cultivation. So the answer is joining of peasant unrest to India's national movement. Rajkumar Shukla, he brought Gandhiji. He was like, Gandhiji, please come. Gandhiji, you are such a good boy. You did such good stuff in South Africa. Please replicate those good stuff in Champaran also. Gandhiji is like, okay. And then Gandhiji came to Champaran on the insistence of Rajkumar Shukla. He met Rajendra Prasad and other people here. So yeah, Mazrahul Haq and something like that. All those people were there. We could read all these things. And then cake, remember the mnemonic cake, Champaran, Ahmedabad, Kheda mill workers, Ahmedabad mill workers, Kheda peasants, Kheda PYQ we have already seen. So these are really important. Which one of the following system does not apply to the system of subsidiary alliance? 1798, introduced by Lord Wellesley. 1793, permanent settlement, introduced by Cornwallis. So these things which happen very close by, keep a tab on them. You can easily get confused, Whoa. Lord Wellesley, he's also one who established Fort William College in 1800 in Calcutta, so that he can train civil servants. So all these things are really important. How important? Really important. So Lord Wellesley, what was the aim? What is subsidiary alliance? That they were like to Indians, princely states and all that, dude, maintaining army is such a tough task. Man management is such a tough task, and I vouch for that. So I worked at an organization. I cannot name that organization. I was a team lead. At that time, I was doing a lot of work in content, and I was making some current affairs videos. I was not not taking too many classes, but yes, I have to handle content department. I was not making content. I was the team lead. So I was handling content, how people were making, and they were sending it to me. I was cross-checking, and then it was going to other departments. Oh my God, I realized I can do my own work, but making people do work is the toughest thing in the world, guys. So man management is a tough thing. Same thing was stated by Lord Wellesley to the Indian princely states, that man management is a tough task. People who have done MBA, who are HRs, etc., you know what I'm saying. There are many people who are working, they know what I'm saying. So Lord Wellesley also stated the same thing. Indian princely states were like, okay, we are convinced. So you maintain a large standing army. We will pay some money to you, and if you're not able to pay, you annex our territories. Wow. So strict. At the same time, at that time, Britishers, they were wary of Napoleon, who was creating 1789 French Revolution happened and all, Napoleon, and then Reign of Terror happened, and then Napoleon came to picture. So they were like Napoleon and Tipu Sultan in India, Mysore, they were very close to them. So they were like, we have to keep India safe from Napoleonic danger. So we need money, and not exactly money, we need standing army, we need friendly states to maintain a large standing army, correct? To keep India safe from Napoleonic danger, correct? To establish British paramountcy, correct? It was not securing a fixed income. For securing fixed income, they came up with this permanent settlement 5 years earlier. So C is not, they're asking not. Sometimes they will highlight this not, sometimes they won't highlight. So the answer is C, guys. Don't do baba. I will kill you all and eat you alive. I cannot do that. I'm not a cannibal. That statement is also factually wrong. If I've already killed you, I cannot eat you alive because you're already dead. Wah! I laugh at my own stupid jokes. In 1920, which of the following changed its name to Swaraj Sabha? All India Home Rule League established by any Besant ma'am. Because now the aim is not home rule. The aim has changed to Swaraj after Gandhiji came into picture. right? So yeah, Gandhiji became active and he changed the name to Swaraj Sabha, like of All India Home Rule League. A factual question, keep it in mind. Which among the following events happened earliest? Now, if you know, like you will see a trend, certain things being asked again and again. So you have to keep that in mind. Chepandes, Chepo, Telsu, Ledu, Kadu. Why I do these things? I love to do these things. Swami Dayanand Saraswati established Arya Samaj 1875. Back to the Vedas, Suddhi movement, Satyat Prakash. Remember these facts, very important. It's a revivalist movement. Arya Samaj is a reformist movement. Reformist means we will adopt best of both worlds, Eastern world, Western world. Revivalist is no, back to the Vedas. But both Arya Samaj and Brahmo Samaj, they opposed idolatry. You will see many organizations opposing idolatry. Why? Because idol worshipping. Swami Dayanand said that in Vedas there is no mention of idolatry. It came just like that. And when you have different idols, different set of rituals, the you know Brahmanical supremacy will rise, cost of these rituals and sacrifices will increase, it promotes superstition and all. So again, that's why most of these organizations you will see they will oppose idol worshipping. So 1875, Dingbandhu Mitra wrote Neel Darpan. 1858-59, Neel Bidro. Bankim Chand Chattopadhyay wrote Anand Mat 1882, and Vande Mataram was written in 1875. It was a part of Anand Mat. Vande Mataram, Modi sir is so angry about Vande Mataram. We are not singing all 6 stanzas. So initially we were like, there were only 2 stanzas which were kept in the national song, because the rest 4 stanzas they are referring to Hindu god and goddesses. That's why, because India is a secular country. Now supposedly on paper, reality I don't know. So now, so this is in news. Anand Mat is in news. Vande Mataram is in news. So keep it in mind. Satyendrath Tagore, elder brother of Rabindranath Tagore, became the first Indian to succeed in ICS 1863. Chepandis. Guys, please don't do Chepandis. So B is the answer, guys. Whoa. Why you people do like this? Grow up. With reference to Swadeshi movement, consider the following. You see Swadeshi here, there, everywhere. It contributed to the revival of indigenous artisan crafts and industry. Yes, Swadeshi means we will make here and we will consume it. No foreign goods. No. National Council of Education was established. Aurobindo Ghosh sir became the principal of whatever secretary of this. There was a Bengal National College which was established, and then there was a technical wing of that college which became later on Jadavpur University. I love Bengali people, man. I love Bengali food. My sister, we are from Bihar. My sister is married to a Bengali. I love it so much. I love that culture so much. I don't know. I love everything. I think I'm a very optimistic person by nature. You may have never seen me saying anything bad about anyone. Even Modi sir, whom I'm like, how can I say bad about Modi? Modi sir is the best. So again, guys, both the statements are correct. Don't say anything bad about Modi sir. Modi sir and Amit Shah sir. Group photo is in my heart. Dil, in our time there was a song, Dil cheer ke dekh tera hi naam hoga. That means if you tear my heart, there will be a name, or there will be 2 names, Modi sir and Amit Shah and Harin Pandya. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I don't think I will live for long if I keep saying this name again and again. So the answer is C, guys. You read all these things. I have told you things. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the word to Chepandays. And again, if I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this particular number. If you want this particular PDF, again, you can send me a message at this number only. Indigo cultivation in India declined. We have just seen Champaran Satyagraha. We have seen Neil Bidro's related book, Neel Darpan. Indigo cultivation, I have told you why it declined in that state. Like when we're talking about Champaran Satyagraha, there only I told you. So do Chepandis means tell me. What do you think is the answer? Chepandis, Chepandis, Chepandis. Why it declined? Because of unprofitability in the world market, because of new inventions, synthetic dyes came into picture. Germans, they were making it. So demand for indigo decreased. B. I love you, na Upiriadipoina. Wellesley, Lord Wellesley, Subsidiary Alliance, 1798, same, not different. No money, no honey. Fort William College, 1800. 2 years before, he has started Subsidiary Alliance. He's the same guy. So he was asked by board of blah, blah, blah. So Fort William College, why? Because we have to train civil servants. That you stay here, you understand India's culture, people. So he wanted to train British civilians for administrative purpose. D is the answer, guys. Cheap on these guys. Wellesley established you can see read all these things. Fostering of Indian languages and making the British officials to be familiar with the I'm not reading the whole thing. Which of the following statement correctly explain the impact of industrial revolution in India during the first half of 19th century? Choose always. Here you will like, oh my god, all the statements are correct. No, you have to choose the best option because you are the best. You're the best. Yes, you are the best. Chipandis, chipandis, chipandis. So Indian handicrafts are ruined, machines, railway lines. What is the correctly most important impact? Indian handicrafts were ruined. These industrial revolution, machine-made goods flooded Indian market. We were not able to compete with them. They also took away raw materials from here, so they ruined our Indian handicrafts. You may feel like these things happened, but the most important thing is Indian handicrafts were ruined. These people, I don't like them. There is an British actress, I like her, Rachel Weisz, something like that, the name pronunciation. Other than that, I don't like other Britishers. Maybe whom else? Who's the British people whom I like more apart from Rachel Weisz? She's a British actress, very good actress, guys. She was in Mummy, Mummy Returns. Then there is, I like Sherlock Holmes, that actor who was playing Sherlock Holmes. I forgot his name. He's also good. I like Raquel Welch's husband, that is, who is James Bond. My name is Bond. Guys, please be serious. James Bond. So Indian handicrafts were ruined. You can read all these things in your free time because you people are really good. Gandhi Irwin Pact. So 1930 March 1930 civil disobedience movement started. 12th March 1930 Dandi March. This Dandi March ended on 6th April 1930. 24 days. Some in some state PSCs they have even asked the number of days. So this whole thing were happening during this period. Roundtable conference was going on in British England, and Britishers were like, we are not loving it. We need Gandhiji. We need Congress. Something is missing here. In your house there's a party. Everyone is here. Ambedkar sir, Tej Bahadur Sapru and all. You're like, no, no, no. We need someone. We're not feeling it. So they wanted to feel it. Britishers wanted to feel it, and they're like, invite Gandhiji. So then Lord Irwin 1926 to 31, he was a viceroy. So he signed a pact with Gandhiji, and there were conditions like, please come. Ghar suna lag raha hai. That means the house is not looking the same without you, Gandhiji. So please participate in second roundtable conference. Withdrawal of ordinances promulgated in connection with acceptance of Gandhiji. No. So Gandhiji suggested him two things. Many people say. First is that many people have beaten our people who were doing non-violence protest, and also you look into it. So Gandhiji, Arvind was like, no, okay, no, we'll not accept this. We'll not accept the commutation of Bhagat Singh's, hanging and all. Those things we are not accepting. This withdrawal of ordinances, release of only those prisoners who were not charged with violence, we will accept these things. So the answer is just eliminate third. B1, 2, and 4. And because Bhagat Singh was hanged, etc., then Karachi session happened 1931. At that time, Congress faced a lot of issues. In 1931 only, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev Rajguru, they were hanged. And Karachi session, Vallabhbhai Patel sir, he was the president. And fundamental rights was, they talked about fundamental rights in this particular session. Remember these facts, they're important. Third is wrong. 1, 2, and 4. Please come, Gandhiji, Gandhiji, Gandhiji. So you can see all these things. Gandhiji then went there, nothing happened, and the civil disobedience movement, they started the second phase. That was also a failure. So Britishers were like, ha ha ha, we achieved our objective. Your civil disobedience movement stopped, which was working so awesome in such an awesome manner, and we humiliated you also in the second roundtable conference. Ha ha ha. That's what Britishers were saying. Questions on major revolts in again, you see this. Which among the following provided a why I'm becoming a Shankar Mahadevan going so fast. Questions on major revolts in British India, Chipandis India. Let's solve this question and don't joke around. I'll kill you all. Hi, 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 hi. Oh, ho, ho. I love you. Na upiriadi poina. I love you. Na pranam poina. I'm just taking a breather, guys. Which among the following provided a common factor for tribal insurrection in India? What is leave aside the fancy words. Tribal revolts, why they happened? You read about so many tribal revolts, Santhal rebellion, Munda rebellion, and this rebellion and that rebellion. What is the common cause here, there, everywhere? And choose the best option. You may see, like, yes, land revenue, these things happen, influence happened, money lenders, decos, outsiders, Ravanas, they came. But the best option, these kind of questions are confusing. Everything looks correct. So the best option is Shubham Sagar is a good boy. No, the complete disruption of the old agrarian order of the tribal communities. Yes, I'm a good boy, but here the answer is D. Demand of Tibhagga peasant movement was 1946 around. Tibhagga means two-third. See, I don't know, many of you may be, in Bihar, West Bengal, if you are from that, you may have seen this system, Zamindari system, which is still there. So you are working in your town, you have your land in your village area, somebody is working on that, that will be known as tenant. So basically the concept is 50% will go to tenant and 50% will go to you because you are the owner of the land, he's just working on it. That was not liked by the peasants of Bengal and all. So they went with Tibhagga, two-third. They were like, no, we will not take 50%. We want two-third. We want 66.66666, which is a recurring decimal, guys. When you will read recurring decimal in CSAT, and we will only give you 33.33%, one-third. We'll take two-third. That is Tibhagga movement. Reduction of share of land lots from one-half to one-third. Tibhagga. And just before independence, this movement was there. King Sabha 1946. So remember this PYQ in 14. After the Santhal uprising upsided, Santhal rebellion 1898-99. No, this is Santhal uprising, right? This is not Munda uprising. Santhal uprising 1855-56, which is also known as Hool uprising. Hool Divas. I just covered it in art and culture. Hool Divas. Art and culture, 50 most important current affairs I'm doing. Very important, guys, because then static and dynamic both mix. So you read about Hool Divas. Santhal uprising, Munda rebellion, Ulgulan, Santhal, Sidho Kanu. Then what happened? Why these people they were protesting? Because these outsiders they came, the land was getting transferred to non-tribal people. To appease this, Santhal Pargana Tenancy Act was passed. Santhal Pargana Tenancy Act, via which it became illegal for a Santhal to transfer land to non-Santhal. Even now you see this in tribal areas, hilly areas, especially tribal areas. It's difficult for a tribal land to be getting transferred to a non-tribal people because of all these tribal movements which happened earlier. So both the statements are correct. The answer is C, both 1 and 2. Chepandis. You can read all these things. With reference to history of India, Ulgula, Great Tumult is a description of Birsa Munda. Birsa Munda's birthday, 15th November. What zodiac sign is he? If you know it, you can post it in the comment section. I did not believe in these zodiac sign, guys. I'm born on 11th March. I'm Pisces. Amir Khan, Pisces. I think Shahid Kapoor is also Pisces. So, but when I went to Hyderabad, I met a person there. She was Virgo. Means he or she, I don't know. I don't know the gender. Virgo. And then she told me, means, she made me interested in this whole compatibility thing, which zodiac sign is compatible with whom. Find out the zodiac sign of Birsa Munda, 15th November, and it is known as Janjatiya Divas, Janjatiya Gaurav Divas now. So this is important every year. From 2020 is 21-22 onwards, means Modi sir have introduced this Janjati Gaurav Divas. Birsa Munda, Ulgulan. So D is the answer. Great tumult. Why I tell you all these stuff? I don't know. So yeah. With reference to Rowlatt Satyagraha, which of the following statement is or are correct? The Rowlatt Act was based on the recommendation of Sedition Committee. Very good. Chepandis. In Rowlatt Satyagraha, Gandhiji, what did Gandhiji do? Tried to utilize. Yes. Demonstration against arrived. Simon Commission arrived in 1927. This Rowlatt Satyagraha happening in 1918, 1919. So how, like, there is no, just eliminate third. Now you're left with A and B. Check the second one. Yes, Rowlatt Satyagraha, Gandhiji did utilize Home Rule League. He became very influential and later on he even changed the name of Home Rule League to Swaraj Sabha. So what we are learning from that lesson, don't allow some person to come into your house and don't get influenced by him or her so much. See? Came, utilized and then even changed the name of Home Rule League to Swaraj Sabha. But again, Gandhiji is Gandhiji. So answer is B. I'm just joking, guys. I'm a Gandhi supporter. I'm not a Godse supporter. So B1 and 2. Oh my God. You can read all these things in your free time. Who among the following was where economic critiques of colonialism in India? Chepandis, Chepades. Please, guys, grow up, okay? Chepandis. Economic critique. Who were criticizing Britishers' economic policy, drain of wealth, home charges, drain of wealth? Dadabhai Naroji. Poverty and un-British rule in India, he wrote, where he talked about home charges, drain of wealth. What is home charges, poverty and un-British rule? in India or of India. G. Subramania Iyer. He is the one who started Hindu Swadesh Mitran, Hindu newspaper which you read right now. I love Hindu Swadesh Mitran. Do remember Swadesh Mitran also. R.C. Dutt, Economic History of India. So yes, all three of them are economic critics or were economic critics. Dadabhai Naroji, grand old man, he's here, there, everywhere. Congress president three times, 1886, 1893, 1906. Poverty and British rule in India. He was also elected in British House of Commons. Oh my God, this guy was Indian Association, I think, East India Association he established. So he did a lot of stuff, Dadabhai Naroji sir. He was also associated with, you know, Parsi organizations and all reform organizations. Oh my God, that guy. So again, G. Subramania Iyer, asked you that economic history. So here in poverty and un-British rule of India, drain of wealth everybody knows. He also talked about home charges. Home charges means Britishers are spending money in Britain, but they are taking out money from India, like salaries, etc., which they're paying to Indian soldiers. War they're fighting outside. They're using our money. So these are home charges. They're spending it in their home, but they're using India's money. Such bad guys these people were. I don't like them. So the answer here is D, 1, 2, and 3, guys. I love you now, Piriyadipoina. R.C. Dutt, in his Economic History of India, he talked about a sponge theory, which is actually very interesting. Sponge theory means what? Like these Britishers, they extract, like they put sponge in Ganges and then they pour it in Thames. So all the good things from Ganges is poured into Thames River. This is basically an analogy how they are exploiting us to the hilt. Sponge theory, Chepandi's theory, Chepu guys. With reference to Congress Socialist Party, consider the following statement and do Chepandi's Chepu ledu kadu. Chepandis, Chepandis, Chepandis. So we are talking about, just give me a second, guys. Congress Socialist Party, everything is fine. Guys, I have OCD. So if you see with reference to Congress Socialist Party, hello, Chepandis. Everything is fine. So yeah, Congress Socialist Party formed in 1934 by Jayaprakash Narayan, Acharya Naren Dev, Ram Manohar Lohia and other people. So Congress Socialist Party 1934 worked within Congress. As the name suggests, there is the word Congress before Socialist Party. Do remember, Jayaprakash Narayan sir is associated, Ram Manohar Lohia, Acharya Naren Dev and other people. So this dictatorship of proletariat is a communist philosophy, guys. Marxist philosophy and all, which is a little bit extreme. People get confused between socialism and communism a lot. And then communalism also. Communalism is a different thing altogether, which is, about religion, how my religion is different from yours, my interests are different from yours, and we cannot coexist. Communism, socialism, they both are about equitable distribution of resources. But communism is a little bit more extreme, so to say. They talk about a classless society. They don't discount violence, as you can see here, dictatorship of proletariat. Not a philosophy of socialist. Remove second option. Advocate separate electorates. No, they did not do that. That was not their aim. So the answer is D, none. Advocated the boycott of British. No. It's all about equitable distribution of resources. Nations can coexist with a socialist society. Communism is like, no, there will be no nation, there will be no caste, there will be no class, nothing. And so a little bit more extreme. Maybe you can say socialism is the early stage, communism is the final stage. So none of the options, like this second point is communism, communist, Marxist philosophy, and D is the answer. None. Guys, please serious. You can read all these things in your free time. Government of India Act 1919. You see 1919, 1935, 1909. They're really important. How important? Really. So separation of power, not judiciary legislature, jurisdiction of central and provincial governments, division of power, diarchy, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, like there's bicameralism at center, so to say. So yes, they divided the jurisdiction of central and provincial government. B is the answer, best possible option. In fact, even during this period, they divided subjects, central subject, provincial subjects. Like you have state list, union list, that happened. And in that provincial subjects, reserved subjects and transferred subjects came into picture, which we have just discussed. Chepandis, Chepandis, Chepo. Early British India. With reference to the period of colonial rule, we were just talking about, who talked economic critiques, Dadabhai Naroji, R.C. Dutt, Subramania Iyer. Home charges, I have told you what is the basic meaning. Which of the following constitute home charges? Fund used to support India office in London. Exactly. Our money supporting an office in London. So first is correct. Fund used to pay salaries and pension of British personnel engaged in India. They will go back, they will get pension from our money. Correct. Fund used for waging wars. Correct. So the answer is D, 1, 2, and 3. What is home charges? They're using their money in their homeland, but whose money it is? Our money, Indian revenue, for their own purpose. Stupid people, with due respect to them. Shashi Tharoor will say that. What was the purpose with which Sir William Wedderburn and W.S. Kane set up Indian Parliamentary Committee in 18? So these are early sympathizer of Indian National Congress. They want to raise Indian grievances in, House of Commons. That was the basic aim, so that constitutional reforms can happen. This is a period. 1893 is a period between 1885 to 1905, guys, which was the moderate phase. So here they're not talking about independence, this and that, as is written in some of the options. Basically, to agitate, like expansion of legislative council in India and all those reforms, more Indian representation in different spheres, to agitate for Indian political reforms in House of Commons. Chepandi. Oh, just give me that this I give you the answer. During the freedom struggle, Indian National Conference was formed. It was formed in 1887. Indian National Congress formed in 1885, 2 years after. Indian National Congress, they did not want to deal with sensitive issue, religion, widow remarriage, this and that. They're like, these are very sensitive issues. We'll not deal with it. So they formed this organization, social conference and all. Mahadev Govindanade and all, Raghunath Rao. These were the people who were very active, very responsible for the formation of National Social Conference. They used to meet when INC session used to happen, but they had their own agenda. So why this happened, why this National Social Conference was formed? Because Congress did not want to include social reforms in its deliberation and decided to form a separate body, B. Want to include, I hate grammatical errors, guys. B is the answer. I'm PCN, right? 11th March. So we are generally perfectionist, Amir Khan. But that is wrong. That is not a good thing. Sometimes what happens in perfection, sometimes you have to just do the work. Don't go after perfectionism. That does not serve the purpose. Most effective contribution made by Dadabhai Naroji here. You see Dadabhai Naroji, how many questions UPSC asked? Grand old man. Use option elimination in this question. And you have to do it a lot in UPSC for many questions. So what we are discussing here is, when you will see these three statements, you will realize something. What you will realize? Option elimination works. Stress the need for eradicating all social evils before anything else. So we first remove all social evils, widow remarriage and sati pratha and all, and then we'll think about anything else. Can you think this can be a statement given by him? Don't you think this is just too extreme? Eliminate third, you got the answer A. Interpreted ancient index. No. He exposed the economic exploitation. He is known for that. That is the most effective contribution. Whenever they are asking most, it has to be something for which he is known. Poverty and un-British rule, economic exploitation, exposition, drain of wealth, home charges. So the answer is A, one only. Ba, Dada Bhai Naroji sir, I love you. Ilbert Bill controversy related to. So there is, again, we talk about good Britishers. Sir Stafford Cripps was one. Lord Ripon was one. So he was the Governor General in early 1880s. He came up with this Ilbert Bill, where earlier British judges, they will try British people and Indian people. Indian judges will only try Indian people. So he was like, why this discrimination? The removal of disqualification imposed on Indian magistrates with regard to trial of Europeans. Indian magistrate also can try Europeans, and that led to hue and cry. And then this bill was suspended or whatever. So yeah, that was the controversy. But Lord Ripon was a good guy. Before him came Lord Lytton, was just too evil. And maybe to balance it out, Britishers sent Lord Ripon. C is the answer, guys. This Lord Lytton came up with Vernacular Press Act in 1878. He was an evil guy. During his time, Afghanistan war was going on, Anglo-Afghanistan, and they were facing reverses there. Bad guy. People of India agitated against the arrival of Simon Commission. Why? Because Shubham Sagar was not there. No, that is not the answer. What is the answer, guys? Chepundis Chepu Telsu Ledu. Kadu. Because there was no Indian member in the Simon Commission. 7-member commission it was. And see, 1919 Act, non-tax Chelmsford Acts. In that there is a provision that after 10 years, we will review it after 10 years. So after 10 years, and this Simon Commission came in 1927. So if you do CSAT, because you people have to do it, you will realize that 1919 plus 10 is 1929. How come they came 8 years after only? Because there was supposed to be an election in 27 and the government was supposed to change. So they were like, we don't want another government to send a commission, so they sent it early. Simon Commission, 7-member commission, guys. 7-member commission it was. No Indian, so that's why. Protest happened. Lala Lajpat Roy protested and he died due to lathi charge. Sad, sad. Oh, hey. What did I do here? So this question done, right? Partition of Bengal made by Lord Curzon, 1899 to 1905. Lasted until 1911. King George V abrogated Curzon's act as Royal Darbar in Delhi, 1911. Gadar. What was Gadar? Gadar was Sunny Deol's movie. No, it was not Sunny Deol movie, guys. It was an organization formed in around 1913, 1914 in San Francisco. Where Kisco? San Francisco in USA. Lala Hardayal, Sohan Singh Bhakna. Many people from different religions, they were part of it. Gardar Party. So yeah, Revolutionary Association of Indians headquartered at San Francisco. Idhar Kisco. It's not, and maybe Sunny Deol's movie got inspired by Gadar. Gadar. And Gadar is also, I think, 1857 revolt is also known as Gadar, and that's why they named it as Gadar. Gadar. There's a saying also, Garda uda denge. So that Garda is not Gadar, guys. That's a different thing. You don't need to know about that. You don't need to say those stuffs. Again, see 1919. How many times have you seen this 1919 ag gas? Gas. Oh my God, what am I saying? Introduction of diarchy in the provinces. Yes. Reserve transferred. First is correct. Eliminate. Separate communal electorate already done in 1909. Morley-Montagu. They just extended it for Anglo-Indians and others. Second is wrong. Eliminate. Now check the third one. Devolution. Yes. Central list, state list. They did that. So third is correct. The answer is C, 1 and 3. 1919, 1935, 1909. Revise it properly. Otherwise, I will kill you all and eat you alive. I can be very scary at times. Oh my God. Distribution of power between center and state in the Indian Constitution is based, I have told you, 50% of Indian Constitution based on Government of India Act 1935. Guys, don't act like that. Don't act like a kid. What were the objectives of Queen's Victoria Proclamation 1858? What were the objective? That Shubham Sagar is a good boy. Guju. Please, don't do guju. I love you. I love you now. Upiriya dipoy na. My God, this. So the objective, Queen's 1857 revolt happened. Britishers felt that the main reason this thing happened was the annexation policy of Dalhousie, who is a good boy. Dalhousie was not a good boy according to princely states. Lord Dalhousie, 1848 to 1856. He brought this doctrine of lapse policy, this and that. And then when the doctrine of lapse did not work in Awadh, he annexed Awadh on the pretext of misgovernance. So he was a bad guy. Means not a bad guy. He did a lot of good things. PWD and Public Welfare Department. So many things he did. He is even known as the founder of modern India or something, like maker of modern India or something, Lord Dalhousie. Doctrine of lapse. But he did a lot of things which Britishers realized that, okay, it may have led to discontent and the revolt. So they said that we will not annex any more territories. First is correct. Plan Indian, yes. Up until then, East India Company was calling the administrative shots. After 1857 revolt, everything ended. They were no longer an administrative body. So to place the Indian administration under British crown, we became a direct British colony. So second is correct. Then East India Company regulation was happening with Charter Act of 1833. For that, Queen's Victoria Proclamation was not there. So the answer is A, 1 and 2 only. So now again your homework is Revised Regulating Act of 1773, Pitt's India Act of 1784, Charter Act of 1813, Charter Act of 1833, Charter Act of 1853, Charter Act of 1833, Governor General of India. Bengal became Governor General of India. William Bentinck, means Regulating Act of 1773, Governor of Bengal became Governor General of Bengal. Warren Hastings, whoa, revise all these things. Supreme Court established by Regulating Act of 1773. Later on, Supreme Court also established by Government of India Act of 1935. Pitt's India Act, Dual Government, Board of Control, Court of Directors, Charter Act of 1813, 1 lakh rupees set aside for education in India, Christian missionaries allowed to come to India. Remember these facts. And then companies monopoly was removed except for tea and trade with China. And then 1833, those monopolies were also taken away. All these things are really important. Revise it. Revise those acts. They're very important. I love you. Which of the following statement is correct regarding Brahmo Samaj? Brahmo Sabha 1828 later became Brahmo Samaj. Again, reformist movement opposed idolatry, correct. Denied the need for priestly class, correct. Popularized, no, Vedas are infallible was popularized by Arya Samaj. Go back to the Vedas, right? So third is wrong. So the answer is B, 1 and 2 only. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Atmiya Sabha. So many things he did. Satya Sodak Samaj, 1873. Jyotiba Phule. Remember these years, guys. 1875, Arya Samaj. They have already asked a chronology question. They can give you this. 1873, Jyotiba Phule, Satya Sodak Samaj, Arya Samaj, Ram Krishna Mission, 1897, Belur Mutt, West Bengal, 1897, Swami Dayananda Saraswati. So remember these facts. Swami Dayananda Saraswati, influenced by Vedanta, service of Jiva is worship of Shiva, chronology. So it was a anti-caste movement in Maharashtra. Jyotiba Phule, Mali community he was from, and he wrote a lot of books. Sarvajanik Satyadharma, Gulamgiri. In Gulamgiri, he said that the condition of lower caste people is like the slaves of US, because at that time American Civil War etc. was going on. Sarvajanik Satyadharma and Gulamgiri compared lower caste condition with the slaves or the black people of America, which raised a lot of issues and a lot of hue and cry. Jyotiba Phule, Mali, Satyasodha Samaj, 1873, demanded representation of all class, blah, blah, blah. You can read all these things. It's not blah, blah, blah. It's very important, but you can read it in your free time. There was a movie also, Phule movie, which was supposed to be released, but then so many things happened. It was sad. It's, in Amrit Kal, so many sad, sad things happen sometimes. What can I tell you? I love you. Just give me a second, guys. So by which one of the following acts Chepandis happened? Was Governor General of Bengal designated Governor General of India? Charter Act of 1833, 2023 question. And who was the first Governor General of India? Warren Hastings. Who was the first Viceroy? Lord Canning. Anything first, your first love, your first crush, your first kiss, everything is really important. I love you. Who among the following was associated as secretary with Hindu female school, which later came to be known as Bethune Female School, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. So Vidyasagar, it was not like his name was always Vidyasagar. He talked about girls' education. He talked about widow remarriage. And this Bethune sir, who established his girls' school, he died in 1851. 1856, Widow Remarriage Act was passed. People were impressed by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar sir, Britishers. So they were like, okay, you become the secretary of this particular school. So Bethune established Kolkata's first school for girls, 1849. He died away in, or he died away, died in 1851, and then in 1856, government took charge of the Hindu female school, later named as Bethune School. And Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, remember the chronology, remember the coincidence, 1856, Widow Remarriage Act passed. So he had an influence, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar sir, and then he became the secretary of this particular school. Widow remarriage bill was, introduced by Dalhousie, but then he went away. Act was passed during the tenure of Lord Canning. When you talk about Lord Canning, please remember these facts; they're important. He was viceroy from 1850, like he was initially governor general from 1857, 56 to 57, and then from 1858 to 62. He was a viceroy. Basically, his tenure was from 1856 to 1862. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So he was also the governor general during the time of 1857 revolt. People confuse him to, like, people think that Dalhousie was the governor general during 1857 revolt. That is wrong. Keep these points in mind. They're really important. How important? Really, really, really. Gadar Party. You see how many questions they ask from Gadar Party. Gadar much. Gudru, gudru, gudru. Guys, please be serious. Gadar Party, Lala Hardaya, Sonal Singh Bhakna, Barindra Kumar Ghosh, he is the brother of Aurobindo Ghosh, basically associated with Jugantar Anushilan Samiti. Nothing to do with Gadar Party as such, so you eliminate one. These are tough questions. This is not an easy question. If you have solved these questions, you will be able to solve it in exam. Otherwise, you will face issues, guys. You will definitely face issues. Jogesh Chandra Chatterjee, again associated with Anushilan Samiti and all, and nothing to do with Gadar Party. Raj Bihari Bose associated with Jugantar, Anushilan Samiti, Indian National Army, also Gadar. So Raj Bihari Bose. Remember, he is not Raj Bihari Ghosh. Ghosh is, Raj Bihari Ghosh is the president of the INC session of Surat Split 1907. They are different people. So the answer is D3 only. Very tough, very conceptual, very factual, not conceptual, factual question. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. You can have a look at it. Montag Chelmsford reforms of 1919 recommended granting all women, seriously. Some voting rights were given based on property and all, not to all women. So first is wrong. Again, 1919 Act. Government of India gave women reserved seats in legislature. That is correct. B, 2 only. You can see via these questions how important these acts are. 1909, 1919, 1930, especially 1919 and 1935. So yes, sir. Reserved and transferred subjects. I have already told you what was happening. Diarchy provinces introduced by 1919 Act. So reserved governor with his executive council not answerable. All the money related good. So if you have money, land revenue has to be there. Eliminate. If you have money also, if you have muscle power also, police also. So 3, 4. Eliminate this. So now what is more important? If you have law also in your pocket, then everything is awesome, right? So out of self-government and justice, you will take justice. So C1, 3 and 4. Even if you don't know things, you know reserved are more important than transferred. Via that logic, you can solve this question. C1, 3 and 4. Wow, I have already told you at the starting also this particular question's answer. With reference to the proposal of Cripps mission, again Cripps mission, Stafford Cripps. See how many times they ask Cripps mission, how many times they ask Swadeshi, and how many times they ask about Lahore session. So you will see a trend, a pattern. Constituent Assembly would have members nominated by provincial assemblies and princely state, any province which is not. So nominated, not elected by provincial assemblies and nominated by princely states. First is wrong, not both nominated. So you'll have to B and D. Any province not prepared, that we have discussed. People have issue with that. People will have issued with the dominion status thing. So the answer is B2 only. Revise Scripps mission, very important. Revise cabinet mission. Revise Mountbatten plan. Revise Webber plan. All these are very important. You see this is what we were discussing, why first statement was wrong. Because partly elected by provincial assembly, partly nominated by princely states. So not the same nomination process for both of them. Any province not willing to join could have a. This is not the first time we are seeing this. With reference to 8th August 1942, what happened on 8th August? Something happened, something, Chepandi, something, what, something. Quit India resolution was adopted. 8th August, I have told you at the starting. 9th August, 9th August morning, most of the leaders were arrested, leaderless movement, then Aruna Asaf Ali, Usha Mehta, all these people, they came into picture, parallel governments, Valia Satara and all, they were formed. So A is the answer, guys. Cripps proposed an Indian Union like this happened in March, April 1942, not like August. Congress ministry resigned, that happened in 1939. Viceroy Executive Council appointed, this happened in August of 1940. So there are different dates. I love you. Now, with reference to Madanapalli of Andhra Pradesh, which of the following statements correct? Madam Blavatsky could not set up headquarters. I have told you at the starting when we were talking about any basement. They set up that Adyar Madras, not Madanapalli. So obviously, if you know this, you can eliminate the option. Any option which you can eliminate in UPSC, it helps a lot. So lot. Rabindranath, again, Pattavi Sitaramaya led the Quit India movement. Pingali Venkaiah designed the tricolor. Rabindranath Tagore translated national anthem from Bengali to English here. So Jana Gana Mana was written in Bengali and then he translated to English. Morning Song of India, something it was like called like that. And then Margaret Cousin, she designed the tunes and all. Morning Song of India. They can ask you which of the following song is known as Morning Song of India. They will write Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram is in news right now. You can get confused. Don't get confused. Jana Gana Mana. And it was adopted 2 days before the Republic Day, January 24. Remember these dates also, guys. When was it adopted? It's important. They have asked it in different exams. When was it was first sung, 1911 session, and all those things. In the context of colonial India, Shah Nawaz Khan, Prem Kumar Sehgal, Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon are remembered as good boys. Yes, officers of Indian National Army, and part of that, RAI, like there was a. These were actually British, like officers working for Britishers, but then during Second World War, they became a part of Indian National Army. They started fighting against the Britishers, and that's why they were charged with treason and all, and these INA prisoners, they were put to trial, and all three people like belonging to different religion: Hindu, Prem Kumar Sehgal, Muslim, Shah Nawaz Khan, and Sikh, Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon. Miscellaneous question. Have a look at this 2023 question statement assertion. These days UPSC has, like these kind of questions they have started asking less. There was a time you people were not born. At that time UPSC used to ask a lot of these questions. 7th August, yes, I think in 2015, 1 year after India entered into Amrit Kal, and many people say India got independence in 2014 because we had nothing before 2014, according to many people. So 7th August, like from 2015, it was celebrated as National Handloom Day because on the same day, Swadeshi movement was launched and it was all about promotion of indigenous goods and all. So yes, that's why it is celebrated as National Handloom Day. Both statements are correct and statement 2 is a correct explanation. Really good. Amrit Kal. PYQ 2024, with reference to revenue collection by Cornwallis, consider the following statements. Under Ryotwadi settlement, peasants were exempted from revenue payment. No, no, it was not the case. If it would have been the case, it would have been awesome. Under permanent settlement, if Zamindar failed to pay his revenues on or before the fixed date, that was known as sunset clause, he would be removed. Yes, second is correct. First is wrong. Britishers were not that awesome. And here, the second statement you can see in NCRT. And NCRT, see this? Revenue was invariable regardless of harvest and had to be paid punctually. According to sunset law, if payment did not come in by the sunset of the specified date, zamindari was liable to be auctioned. That's what this question was saying. And Ryotwadi settlement, they had to pay irrespective of whatever happens. 2025 prelims question. Raja Ram Mohan Roy possessed great love and respect for traditional philosophical system of the East, desired his countrymen to accept rational and scientific approach, principle of human dignity and social equality. Yes, he wanted to adopt the best of both worlds, Eastern, Orient world, and again East and West, best of both worlds. He was a reformist, not a revivalist. So yes, both the statements are correct. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Che Pandi. Guys, please be serious. Types of reform movement. Reform from within can be effective if it emerged from within the society rather than you're bringing reform via law and that, this and that. So Raja Raman Roy believed that philosophy of Vedanta was based on the principle of reason. No need of blind reliance of India's own past. India should learn from West, not copy the West. So he was like, yeah, he even said that in Veda there is no idol mention of idol worshipping. He was a monotheist, wrote gift to monotheists. They can ask you this. Established Atmiya Sabha. It reminds me of Ibadat Khana, Sulh Kul, Akbar, to have talks and all. And then I think by 1824, this Atmi Sabha was closed. 1828, Brahmo Sabha, which later became Brahmo Samaj. So remember these things. He was a polyglot. He knew a lot of languages. Awesome man, guys. If you read about him, you will be so impressed. If you read in detail about him. So he used to say these things, that this is a sin. Sati Pratha is a sin. Due to his efforts, Sati was abolished in 1829. Raja Ram Mohan Roy combined the teachings of Upanishad, Bible and Quran. You can see, best of all worlds, most remembered for helping Lord William Bentinck declare the practice of sati a punishable offence in 1829. Have a look at this again, 2025 question. Just give me a second, guys. Hello everyone. Hello. Just give me a second, guys. So yeah, we are talking about 2025 question. Consider the following. This particular year, 2025, they asked a lot of questions for non-cooperation movement. Boycott of law, courts and foreign clothes, observance of strict non-violence. That did not happen in Chauri Chaura, and that's why they called it the movement. Retention of surrender of titles and honors. And that's why you will see many people surrendering their titles and honors. Even before that, Rabindranath Tagore, sir, he gave away his title, knighthood and all. Establishment of panchayats for settling disputes. So third is wrong, rest all are correct. So the answer is C. Only 3 were very good. If you see this, NCM, Non-Cooperation Movement 1922, and non-cooperation as a sequel to Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh, you can see. Main resolution moved by C.R. Das. Nagpur session of December 1920, very important. Because I think in this session also, they talked about this whole thing. Linguistic reorganization of states and all, that will happen. But that did not happen immediately after 1947 because of the partition thing. And see this is the point which we are focusing on. Non-payment, boycott of government affiliated law courts, resignation, surrender of titles. So in the question, if you go back again, and if you see the term and see what they're saying, retention of titles, that is wrong. So third is wrong, rest everything is fine. So the answer is only 3 were. And you see this observe strict non-violence, and that was not done. In fact, it is said that Gandhiji was more strict when it comes to observing non-violence in the initial movements like NCM, civil disobedience, then Quit India movement. In Quit India movement, so much violence happened, parallel government form. But Gandhiji always took our side. Maybe he realized some violence here there will happen. Again, you don't have to write these things officially. Consider the following statement in respect to non-cooperation. They asked a lot of questions on non-cooperation, guys. Peaceful means implemented in stages first, and with civil disobedience and non-payment of taxes for the next stage if Swaraj did not come within a year. Gandhiji was like, if we do things diligently, it will come within a year. If it doesn't, we will go to the next stage, which will be civil disobedience and non-payment of taxes. That is correct. Both the statements are correct here. See this? Gandhiji declared if non-cooperation was implemented completely, Swaraj would be ushered within a year, which did not happen. Jinnah and all these people, they left Congress, Annie Besant and all. And Surendranath Banerjee, 1920, he left Congress. He was a part of Congress. He played a crucial role in Congress and Muslim League coming together in the Lucknow Pact. And that's why Sarojini Naidu ma'am called Jinnah Ambassador of Hindu-Muslim Unity during the Lucknow session of 1960, presided over by Ambikacharan Majumdar. Surendranath Banerjee founded Indian National Liberal Federation. Remember this? UPSC has already asked a PYQ on it. Declining stages of NCM, Congress announced the Congress and Khilafat committees are illegal. Again, Congress session at Ahmedabad 21, they were like, okay, we will launch civil disobedience movement, which question was saying, because independence did not happen within a year, but before that can happen, Chauri Chaura incident happened. Police and common people clashed, and then police put, police station on fire, and 22 policemen died. So all these things happened. Who, again, see 2025, same, who provided legal defense to the people arrested in the aftermath of Chauri Chaura incident 2025? Madan Mohan Malviya and Krishnakant. Madan Mohan Malviya, Mahamana, Bharat Ratna, and very important influential figure when it comes to, like Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh and RSS and all. But again, he was also the player I'm saying, oh my god, take my word back. So we talked about Pune Pact and all, and Gandhiji went on fast into death when Ramsay MacDonald announced communal award, and then a treaty happened, or Sula or armistice or whatever you want to call it, happened between Gandhiji and Ambedkar sir. But Gandhiji was in jail. Who represented Gandhiji? Madan Mohan Malviya. On behalf of Gandhiji, he went to and meet B.R. Ambedkar, and then Pune Pact was signed. So yes, Madan Mohan Malviya is a multifaceted personality. Sedition has become my religion was a famous statement given by Gandhiji at the time of publicly violating salt law at Dandi. In fact, we have discussed this civil disobedience movement March 12. Before doing this civil disobedience movement, he wrote a letter 10 days before to Lord Irwin that Irwin, you are a good boy. See this letter, M.K. Gandhi, Satyagraha Ashram, March 2nd, 1930. March 12, 1930, they started this whole Dandi March. 10 days before he wrote all these things that, why do I regard British rule a curse and everything. It's a fascinating letter, guys. You can read it in your free time. Subsequent to which one of the following events, Gandhiji, who consistently opposed untouchability and appealed for its eradication from all spheres, decided to include the upliftment of Harijans in his political and social program? The answer is Pune Pact. Pune Pact. UPSC has asked a lot of questions on Pune Pact, guys. And Pune Pact. And Gandhiji, again, Ambedkar sir kept on saying, Mahatma ke is kadam ka parinam desh bhar ke, again, he kept on saying that Mahatma's act will result in nothing but terrorism by his followers, not followers, against depressed classes. And he said that it was my biggest mistake in my life, this whole Pune Pact. Chipping away at untouchability, and equality may be a fiction, but nonetheless one must accept it as a governing principle. You will see somewhere he said Pune Pact is my biggest mistake, the biggest mistake of my life, Ambedkar sir. And all earlier PYQs also have been asked. You see this Pune Pact, which was signed earlier. Ramsay MacDonald in Communal Award, he talked about separate electorate via Pune Pact. Joint electorate was given to Harijans with some reservation. D is the answer, guys. Consider the following fruits: papaya, pineapple, guava. Which of the following were introduced in India by the Portuguese? Japanese. All of them. Papaya also. I cannot imagine life without pineapple, guys. Oh my god. Thank you, Portuguese. Although they were doing forced religious conversion and all, but this I'm very thankful to them for pineapple. Papaya, guava is fine. Guava has a lot of protein. One of the rare fruits which actually has protein. Failure of Portuguese, forced Christianity. I don't know who you are, but I will find you and I will preach to you and I will convert you. Rise of Dutch and English maritime power. And then impact, definition of conversion. They were good in that. Spread of Christianity and all, Western education, printing press they brought, and then tobacco, fruits, vegetables, potato, ladyfinger, pineapple, papaya, guava, groundnuts, cashew, almond. Remember it. Important. Really important. Change from one religion, political belief, blah, blah, blah. Who among the following was the founder of self-respect movement? Periyar, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, 1920s. Before that you have Justice Party, 1916. And all these self-respect and Justice Party, they are emerging. Why? We have discussed this multiple number of times. Earlier in South India, during Sangam age, 300 BC to 300 CE. The society, like in North India, you had this horizontal, like vertical division of society in North India. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra in North India. But in South India, around Sangam age, etc., society was divided into in horizontal ways, like Kurinji, Mulai, Marudam, Niyadal, Palai, based on which land you are living in. Marudam is agricultural land. You would, horizontal division of society. M is Marudam. But after Sangamation, even then, in the medieval period, modern India, you see even southern India getting divided into two parts, like Brahmanas and non-Brahmanas. Most of the jobs posts were going to Brahmanas, and non-Brahmanas were not liking it. In that regard, Justice Party was created around 1916, and many people were not happy with how Justice Party was doing work. So Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar sir, he came up with the self-respect movement, which later on emerged or graduated into Dravidian politics, and you see the emergence of means parties like DMK and AIA, DMK, etc. So remember these facts, they are really important. How important? Very important. So A. First Gandhar Mahavidyalaya music training school was set up in 1901 by Vishnu Digambar Paluskar. He was a proponent of Indian classical music. Why? Because he wanted to tell Guru Randhawa that Lagdi Lahore Diya Gandhar Mahavidyalaya, so Lahore. This is a factual question, guys. If you get these questions wrong, if you leave it, this is not going to decide your UPSC prelims and all. So yeah, it's fine if you get this question wrong. The answer is D. Lahore. Like and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. You are your own competition. You're not competing with anybody else. Just try to be better than what you were yesterday. And if I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this number. And if you need this particular PDF, you can send me a message at the same number. Take care. Be blessed. All the best from my side. Kill it. Make me proud. Bye bye.